Week 6, Unit 10, Grammar 2, question words. We're familiar with question words. We've been seeing them since beginner Spanish 1411. So today in question words or interrogative words, we're going to pay a little extra attention to the difference between qué and cuál. But overall, let's review them. ¿Quién or quiénes is who. ¿Quién is who singular, quiénes is plural. ¿Qué or cuál is what or which. ¿Dónde, de dónde, a dónde, they all contain dónde, are forms of where. ¿Cuándo? When, a qué hora, at what time. ¿Por qué? Why? ¿Cómo? How? ¿Cuánto o cuánta? How much? It's dollar signs like how much money value. ¿Cuántos, cuántas? How many? So if you're trying to decide which is the question word you should choose, if your answer contains a person, most likely the question word was quién, who. If your answer contained numbers, your question word was cuántos or cuántas, how many. If your answer contained a location, your question word was dónde, or another form of it, a dónde or de dónde, where. If your answer was information or definition, then it was qué, what. If you made a choice or preference, it could be qué or cuál. This is where we're going to have to make the distinction today. If your answer gave an explanation, then your question was ¿por qué? Why? If your answer was a date or a time, then ¿cuándo? When? And if your answer contained money, it was cuánta. What? Okay, let's see if you can match these up. Now we're giving the reasons for using the question words in Spanish. I'm going to read them to you. Letter A, un lugar, a place. Letter B, una selección, a selection, a choice. C, un número o una cantidad, a number or a quantity. D, una definición. E, la hora, the time. F, información, information. See if you can match those up with the appropriate question words. Pause the video and then come back for responses. Número uno, ¿qué? ¿Qué can be used in making a choice, selection, giving a definition, or providing information. It's used in making a choice, a selection. ¿Dónde? Is used with location. ¿Cuándo? Is used with time. And ¿cuánto? Is used with number or quantity. So we can see again that ¿qué and cuál have one in common, don't they? A selection. And ¿qué fills a lot of spaces. ¿Qué versus cuál? ¿Qué plus es or son, es is, son is are, is a definition or explanation. ¿Qué es esto? What is this? Or in the plural form, ¿qué son las Antillas? What are the Antillas? If ¿qué is followed by a verb, then you're looking for information. ¿Qué quieres comer? What do you want to eat? If ¿qué is followed by a noun, you're making a choice or a preference. This is where we're going to make that distinction between cuál. ¿Qué instrumento tocas? What instrument do you play? ¿Qué color prefieres? What color do you prefer? Now let's look at cuál. Cuál will always be followed by a verb. And it will be used for choice or preference. You're choosing between something. Which one? ¿Cuál prefieres? ¿Cuál es el museo más grande? Which do you prefer? Which is the biggest museum? Let's look now at que followed by a noun where it gives choice or preference. ¿Qué libro quieres? Which book do you want? Sorry, what book do you want? What book do you want? As opposed to ¿cuál quieres? Which do you want? Here are two ways to say what is the date. Notice the difference. ¿Qué fecha es hoy? ¿Qué is followed by the noun. ¿Qué fecha? If the question word is followed by es, then you switch it to cuál. ¿Cuál es la fecha? Which is the date? I know it seems confusing at first, but you'll start to see the pattern. If the question word's followed by the noun, you're going to use que. If it's followed by a verb es or son, you're going to use cuál or cuáles. Okay, so here I have either que, definition or explanation, and it'll be followed by a noun, or cuál, choice or preference, and it'll be followed by a verb. So I have my blank, I have a verb, blank es tu pasatiempo favorito. You want to say either what is your favorite pastime or which is your favorite pastime. To use cuál when we have the verb. We're going to use cuál es tu pasatiempo favorito rather than que, because I have a verb here after the question word. Blank pasatiempo prefieres, blank pastime do you prefer? I have a noun here, so use que. ¿Qué pasatiempo prefieres? What pastime do you prefer? We're still making choices, right? Okay. In order to use que to make a choice, it needs to be followed by a noun. To use cuál as a choice, it needs to be followed by the verb es or son. Okay. Blank tarea domésticas no te gusta. What or which chores do you not like? So the blank is followed by a noun, okay? It's about choice or preference. So is it going to be que or is it going to be cuál? It's going to be que because it's followed by a noun. What chores do you not like? What chore do you not like? Now this one, okay, blank of these chores do you not like? Well, this is very clear that we're making a choice between these. Which one? So this one is going to be cuál, okay? Cuál, even though it doesn't have the verb here. When you see a phrase that is clearly giving a choice of these, go with cuál. Okay. Blank es, that's a verb, su red social favorita. Blank followed by a verb is going to lead us to cuál. The other way we're going to know is because, look, we have a question with a choice, an or, Instagram or Snapchat. Cuál. Okay. The next one, I also see a verb. I know this blank is going to be que, but we're going to figure out why this one is different. If I put que in here, ¿qué es una red social? What does the sentence mean? What is a social media? What is social media? This is information. Okay? So que can be followed by es, but the gist of it, what you're getting, is looking for information, not a choice. Okay. Blank es, here we have two with es. Now we have to decide which one is the one where there's a choice or which is the one that's looking for information, right? Blank es un apellido. What is a last name? Wait, is that information or a choice? That's information. We're going to go with que, which means this one's going to be cuál. ¿Cuál es su apellido? What is your last name? Which is your last name? We're going to use cuál because it's followed by a verb. Right, I have two, blank, followed by a noun. So I'm leading more towards the que, right? By a verb, I'm going to lead more towards cuál. Let's see if it works, if there's preferences or if there's information. ¿Qué libro prefieres? Ah, what book do you prefer? Yes, this is correct because I am making a choice or a preference. So que followed by a noun is choice or a preference. ¿Cuál es el libro que prefieres? Which is the book that you prefer? Yes, I'm making a choice or a preference and it's followed by a verb. You're essentially asking the same question. The que one is followed by a noun, the cual by a verb. So in choice or preference, que will be followed by a noun and cual will be followed by the verb. Okay, this is an assignment from your book. So same kind of thing. We see here the answer. Me llamo Rafael Pérez. So what was the question? You know this. This is the very first thing you learned in Spanish. ¿Cómo se llama usted? This one says, de Bayamón, Puerto Rico. From Bayamón, Puerto Rico. So from, which one has to do with being from somewhere? Well, that's de donde, from where? You have seen this question also from 1411. From where are you? I am from Bayamón, Puerto Rico. Blank vive usted en el sur de California. Again, we're dealing with locations. The answer that was given is in the south of California. So we want to ask where? Where do you live? Number 4 says, ahora voy al estadio. Now I'm going to the stadium. So the question is, where are you going now? So this one would be a dónde, to where. Remember that the verb ir, here it is, voy, vas, va, vamos, van, always has an a in it. So in the question of a sentence, ir, the a is attached to donde. To where are you going? To where are you going? A lot of people, okay, they just say donde. So in terms of grammatically being correct, yeah, use the a because you have the verb ir. But people do drop it. Number 5, voy a entrenar con el equipo. Okay. ¿Qué va a hacer usted? What are you going to do? There's ir plus a, right? Either it could be ir plus a plus a location or ir plus a plus an activity. What are you going to do? I'm going to train the team. Número 6. Blank son sus pasatiempos favoritos. So what are your favorite pastimes? They are to play tennis and swim. I'm going to use cuáles, okay, because I have a verb and it's a choice. If I had choices, but there was no verb and the sentence found a way to skip over the verb, it would be que. Okay, down below, oops, sorry. Empezó a jugar usted, blank, you began to play. Empecé a jugar en 2000, I began to play in 2000. So this has to do with time, so cuándo. Number 8, blank son sus jugadores favoritos. So who are your favorite players? And the names are given. ¿Quiénes? And this has to be plural because there's more than one. Blank son sus favoritos. Blank are your favorites. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué means because. So if the answer has because, the question was why? Why are they your favorites? Because they are the best players of baseball of all time. Okay, so that's the end. This is a really short assignment, but just work on your assignments related to interrogative words or question words.